live, Jody.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yep.
Hi, Cheryl. It's been a long day. I don't have it in me today. Thank you. Thank you. How's everything going?
You what? Oh.
Christine and Tim had some questions about the events. They want to ask you questions after the meeting, so I'm going to stick around. Fair enough. Pull up the agenda.
I gave you a copy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's probably in the back though.
Oh, there it is.
I have your own special little mailbox in my office, so I can keep all your stuff together.
That sounds horrible. Just so you know what that is, those are body cam. Yep.
Should they be completing this? Or is that no? It's okay. Okay.
If they have questions, the purpose of this is that they have questions that enables us to contact them.
I told you, look. One of the questions that I was going to ask you that I could just remember is, in my training, she said that if
Testing. Please stand for the invocation and pledge. I thank you for this awesome Father. I thank you for this meeting and everyone attending tonight. I pray that you bless us and keep us. Lord, make your face shine upon us and be gracious to us. I pray that we feel your presence during this meeting because we know you are with us always. My hope is that this meeting focuses on you and your plans for us. Let our actions in this meeting be valuable to our vision to build a community worthy of all its citizens. We ask this prayer in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before I call this meeting to order, we've got someone in the house that's got a birthday today, and it's our clerk, Nikki.
Hey.
So let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nikki. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
I just wanted to spend my birthday with all of y'all.
That's right.
Please make sure the minutes reflect.
I know, right? So happy birthday.
I would like to call the October 1st work session meeting to order. And before the first thing at hand is we need to amend the agenda to include the minutes for September the 25th, 2024. So I need a motion to approve the minutes for the September 17th regular meeting.
We have to actually approve to amend the agenda
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting ahead of myself. Again, I always get ahead of myself. I need a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll make a motion to amend.
Need a second?
I'll second.
Need a second? All in favor? Show of hands. Okay. We'll move on to the minute approval. We need a motion to approve the minutes for September the 17th, regular meeting, September the 23rd special called meeting, and September the 25th called meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Christine made the motion, and Tim Torelli seconded the motion. All in favor, show of hands. Approved. Okay, now we're moving on then to the reports. The finance report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the financial report today, I'll review the activity through September 30th. I'll start with the general fund, which is the city's main operating fund. As of September 30th, we're at 25% through the fiscal year, with 12% of total revenues received. Tax revenues are at 9% of the annual budget, and those will begin to ramp up in the fall. The property tax conversion with Harris has been completed, and bills are on schedule to be mailed no later than October 15th. Licenses and permits are on pace for the year at 21% collected. This is due to building permits and building inspection fees. Charges for services are currently at 12% of the budget, and that is from community center revenues. Fines and forfeitures are on pace for this quarter at 20% due to municipal court revenues. Interest income is doing great and has surpassed our budgeted amount. Miscellaneous revenues are also doing great at 32% of the budget, and this is due to rents and royalties. There have been some significant transfers in the utility fund. These are mostly for cash flow purposes, and we anticipate transfers above budgeted levels will be returned to the utility fund once property taxes start flowing in the fall. For general fund expenditures, the majority of the departments are on pace or below their year-to-date budgeted expenditure levels. Additional expenditures will be recorded as staff continues to process September invoices. Some key expenditures this month were repairs and maintenance for Hillman Park and repairs and maintenance for City Hall renovations and community center improvements. Overall, general fund expenditures for the fiscal year are currently at 28% of the budget, which is on pace for the year. For the utility fund, revenues are at 26% of the budget. The utility departments combined are reporting expenditures at 6%, which is below anticipated expenditures at this time of the year. As staff processes those September invoices, that should change. Please note that due to the month of September ending yesterday, these financials do not represent a clear view of the September activity. Some taxes and fees are due at the end of the month, and those still need to be logged in the system, are still coming in. So we'll be working on that, finalizing September as the weeks go on. That concludes the September financial report. Let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions?
No, looks good. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Police report. We're
Good.
great. How are you?
So the police report for September 1st to the 30th, we had 55 incidents, 4 accidents, 7 arrests, 162 traffic stops, 20 citations, and 38 reports. And we did a total of 487 business and residential checks through the month of September.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. As always, we appreciate the support of the mayor and council and the citizens, and we're here to serve and protect y'all. So,
Thank y'all for all you do.
We thank you for everything you did for September 4th as
Yes,
well.
ma'am. I enjoyed it. It was great. I'm looking forward for the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Public Works.
I am not Brett. I'm just going to give you a general. He gave me a big list, but like always, there's been pickup of leaf and limbs. There's been cleaning out of ditches. They were working on 7th and 8th Street storm drain ditches. We decided to clean the trees on Jefferson Street with the curve, with the new subdivision coming. It was a blind spot. They went ahead and cleared that out. The new AC has been put in at Hillman Rainwater Park. Now we're gonna move ahead and paint it and then finish that up and get that on the books. We are working on cleaning out Public Works and selling some things that we no longer use. We just sold a lift that been in the box for 12 plus years, never been used. With after the commissions to Gov Deals, it brought in $7,300. We completed the lead and copper sampling. Everyone across the country is having to check their pipes. He had a meeting with EMI looking at the rehab. So the building has been gutted and we're getting ready to get that back online while we're getting the permit from EPD. We signed the contract for Dooleytown. The projected time is with weather permitting. Let me say this again. Weather permitting, we're hope to put this baby to rest between October and November. So let's hope for some warm weather and not a whole bunch of rain. We've been working with Georgia Power. We want to get some more lights at the parks, around the buildings, and a couple on a couple streets. And last but not least, we have one more quote to get in on the solar pedestrian lights. So this is a grant that we received, and what we're looking at is at all four corners on Broad and Jefferson, we will now have crosswalk where they flash, and then downtown Jefferson and Railroad, which is one of our busiest intersections as far as traffic goes. We did place a divider sign, and it seems to slow down some people, we're hoping. So that is your Public Works report by Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. The next report is my report, and we had a stakeholder committee meeting through the county on transportation on September the 12th. I was a guest speaker for a Girl Scout event here at the community center on the 16th. Some of the other things that I did were assisted packing comfort bags for Appalachia with adventure bags at the Wimberley Center. And do you want to report about SDS? Because we had a long meeting again at the Wimberley Center, and we had so much fun, right?
We had a great time there, and I'm happy to report, as of last night, the last city in Barrow County, Brazelton, approved a SDS mediation agreement between the city and the counties. This is the first time in 7 years that there has been a binding service delivery strategy agreement between the county and all the municipalities, and we will be submitting the Form 2s to the Department of Community Affairs for final approval shortly. But it closes a very, very long, acrimonious chapter of relations in Barrow County, and hopefully better days are ahead.
Hallelujah.
For the audience as a whole, could you touch on that a little bit, exactly what that means for Statham and the county?
Sure. So SDS is service delivery strategy. Under state law, every 10 years, the county and the municipalities within the county must reach an agreement on who is going to provide what services, where, and how they are going to fund those services. And it's supposed to be done in such a way that the financial burden does not disproportionately fall upon one group of individuals, either municipal residents or unincorporated residents. If you do not have a valid SDS agreement, then sanctions can be placed on all of the jurisdictions, including the county and municipalities. Some of those sanctions could include inability to obtain any kind of funding, state funding for roads, LMIGs, grants. It impairs your ability to obtain financing, GFA loans for things like water and sewer infrastructure. It could impair your ability to run radar. It has potentially crippling impacts for jurisdictions. Because the cities and the county had been, there was a period of time where sanctions were imposed in Barrow County, but because the parties have been working to try to solve the problem, the judge did not feel that imposing those were a possibility. But he did say if a deal was not reached by September 30th, he was going to impose those sanctions. So we got it in right under the gun, so to speak. So
Yeah.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank-
you're welcome.
The last thing that I can say that I did this month was I read to the pre-K for the Georgia Reads program. That's very close to me as far as that goes. I'm in the mayoral reading club with GMA, and I'm excited to go out and read to the schools.
And you did a proclamation for district
Yes.
standards.
Is there any committee reports?
For the tree committee, our next meeting is October 21st, right here in this building at 6:30. The public is invited. We'll have we're going to do some tree planting November 14th, and we'll be discussing that at the meeting.
Got all?
That's it.
I'll talk about events. We have a couple events coming up in October. The first is a scavenger hunt on the 19th. It costs $5 if you want to enter it. We're going to be giving away gift certificates or gift cards. You can buy tickets online, and we're also going to have some at City Hall. And we're also having a dance on the 26th. You can get tickets for that. Early tickets are only $10. Again, you can buy those tickets on Eventity, and we're also going to have those at City Hall. And then the 31st is our regular trick-or-treating. Anybody that's been around Statham knows last year we had around 3,000 kids, so we're gearing up for that. The city's putting up decorations. We ask that businesses and anybody around the neighborhood puts up their decorations. People like to come early, and even the school buses, the kids like to drive through and see them early in the morning. And we also, our event committee meets the fourth Monday of the month, which will be October 28th at 6:30 in the community center, and we'd love to have some more people join us.
And that's all? Okay. We'll move on to the first item on the discussion. It would be Artisans Cove LLC. Are you here? Okay, if they're not here, then we'll move on to Statham Library. Glad to see you, ladies.
Hello. My name is
Hey.
Susie Dukes, and I am the manager at the Statham Public Library. I've been there 11 years, and I've brought with me my admin team. This is Janet Williams and Ashley Tomlin Chambers. They are our assistant managers, and we just wanted to stop by this evening and say hello and tell you a little bit about what the library has going on, and also thank you for your continued support of the library and literacy in our community. We had a very busy summer, as always, but we wanted to share with you some of the numbers for the months of June through August. Just to give you an idea of what it's like over in the library, we had over 14,000 materials circulated both in-house and through our Libby app, which is our e-books, e-audio books, those kind of things. We had 311 new patrons getting library cards, both kids and adults. 8,775 people came through our doors, according to the people counter. So busy. And we did 405 passports during that time.
Yeah.
We started doing passports about 7 years ago.
Wow.
It's just continued to roll.
Yeah.
I want to highlight a few of the things that we have now in the library after our extensive renovation 3 years ago. We now have a conference room that can seat up to 10 and a study room that can seat 4. And these are rooms that anybody can reserve for meetings and use at any time. We have a really cool book vending machine that the Georgia Club Foundation purchased for us last year, and the kids can earn tokens through our reading programs to get free books out of the machine. And we also now have 2 really cool little free libraries outside the library too that people can get free books out of. So in addition to that, we have a whole bunch of technology that I'm going to let Janet tell you about that can be checked out and used in the library.
Thank you.
Easy.
Hi, I'm Janet Williams, and
You can pull it off if you like.
You can move it. You can move it closer.
no, that should be fine.
Oh, that's
Oh, okay. Is that any better?
Yeah.
I've been at the library for 16 years, and of course the technology's changed a little bit since then. So we've come quite a long way. Currently, we have 8 personal computers and a large printer, and the patrons can log in with their library card or with a guest pass. Although we are not wireless, patrons can also use their phone to send an email to our email address, and we print from there. So we have access to printers, to scan documents, to an email address, but we do not fax. We don't fax. We have the largest number of users in our region on the Wi-Fi network for all of our libraries. Thanks to the little apparatus, if you've noticed it on the front of our building, that boosts the output of the Wi-Fi, and it lets everybody who's outside the library, no matter what hour it is, to have access to the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Other technology that is available for checkout, or for adults, we have a laptop, which I didn't bring a sample of that. It's just a Chromebook. It's not preloaded with anything. You can check it out. The other thing that's popular right now is the Wi-Fi hotspot. You can be checked out for a week at a time. It's normally used when somebody's home Wi-Fi is out, or if they're traveling. It's a good thing to do. Yeah. We have 14 of these currently in circulation right now. For kids, we have launch pads and wonder books. The launch pads are small tablets for pre-K through 5th grade. A lot of parents really like these. They do have preloaded learning activities on those for the different subjects and for the different grade levels. The other thing, our newest thing, is a wonder book. These are picture books with preloaded audio books, and so that the children and the parents can listen and read the book together. And these are geared primarily toward the ready to read group, which can be most any age group nowadays, depending on the child. Okay, I'll turn it over to Ashley, who will tell us about programming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So I have the fun job. Not saying that sarcastically, I love my job. So I mostly do programming and social media. So if you did not know, the library has 3 different forms of social media. We do have Facebook, Instagram, and also a TikTok. And I do post TikToks to Facebook and Instagram, so somebody does not need to have one in order to watch our videos. We do also have a YouTube, but I really only use that for, I make slideshows for all of our programming per month, and so that's just kind of like a quick 1-minute overall video of what we do that I also put on the TV while you're at the library, so that way nobody misses anything. So for October, we have so many fun things happening. I don't know if any of you guys have stopped in. We do post this to our social media too, so you don't have to come into the library to find this information. So we have this week alone, right now we have our intro to quilting class going on. I have a story time tomorrow. Thursday we have a fall wreath making class. Saturday we have a Halloween costume swap, and that's just this week alone.
So as you can tell, there's so many things happening. Just kind of our regular reoccurring programming on Mondays and Wednesdays, I have story time at 10:30. Then I also have a monthly Saturday story time for the kids that cannot attend during the week. We do also have our Science on Saturday that happens once a month, and that is for all ages. And then this month we actually have the UGA entomology department coming, so they're gonna have fun bugs for everybody to look at and get creeped out. Spooky season. And then we also have a monthly adult book club. We also have our monthly thread heads and our tech on Thursdays. I did bring some of our calendars. They're on the front table, just in case somebody wanted to grab one. I did go ahead and bring our November and December. These are not fully published, set in stone, so changes can happen, but this is kind of what we're looking towards for the upcoming months. Obviously November, Thanksgiving themed, and December we have lots of fun December holiday things happening. Big highlight for November is we are joining with the tree lighting ceremony, and so we're going to host Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch, which I know some of you guys have come in the past. It's always a blast. So we'll have the Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch from 4 to 6. And then people can come take pictures and then also simultaneously go outside and enjoy the tree lighting ceremony and all those events as well. And then of course we'll have Santa in December. He's coming twice actually. We're having pictures with him and Mrs. Claus one day, and then he's also coming for a story time on a Wednesday. So.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so we have so many fun things happening. If you have not stopped in, definitely do that. And then I will, like I said, I have some of these calendars if you guys want to grab one, and then I'm going to leave this too. This is QR codes, so that way anybody can just scan it and then follow us.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
Something for everyone at our Statham Library. It's wonderful. Awesome. Awesome. Next on the agenda is the Oak Springs subdivision. Hey, Burnett.
My name is Kay Burnett, and I live at 1250 Oak Springs Way. Mayor Krause, distinguished council members, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this evening on behalf of the Oak Springs subdivision. I currently am serving as president of the HOA board for this neighborhood. As you are aware, Oak Springs is a 65-home subdivision in the city limits of Statham, which was approved for construction in 2016. The homeowners purchased these homes in good faith, believing that they would have good streets and streetlights as promised. It wasn't until late 2019 that questions began arising about our streets possibly not having a top layer of asphalt and that we were not going to receive streetlights. Subsequently, we have had some informal conversations with former Mayor Bridges, who assured us that it was his intent for these things to be completed. His tenure as mayor was close to ending, and in 2020, a new administration took over, and the homeowners assumed responsibility for the HOA. That's when we learned that there was a failure by the city to secure the necessary bond to cover expenses when a developer or builder fails to fulfill their agreement with the city. We also learned that our subdivision had not been dedicated and accepted by the city and would not be unless the homeowners assumed responsibility for the top layer of asphalt to bring the streets to city standards. We brought this to the attention of the administration that had taken over after Mayor Bridges. We later found out that the bond could have been pursued by that administration, but they also failed to do so. We have taken a close look at the streets within the city limits of Statham and believe that our streets are at the same standard. We also understand that funds for street repairs that could have been secured by previous administrations were not actively solicited. We are aware that the current administration is working diligently to secure such funds. We are respectfully requesting the current administration to right the wrong that has been done by the two prior administrations and allow an exception to be made to dedicate the Oak Springs subdivision to the city of Statham without the road repairs. As the city continues to secure funds for road improvements, we would request to be put on the list at an appropriate time. We understand that if this exception is made, it could set a legal precedent for builders and developers in the future. If anything is to be gained by this experience, it is for due diligence to be done by current and future administrations to assure securing bonds. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Kay.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kay. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No?
Okay, then we're going to move on to the BP gaming license. Good evening.
Thanks for seeing me again. The only updates that I have since our last meeting is that the BP applied for and was approved by the Georgia Lottery Corporation to participate in their redeemable card program, which keeps track of everybody's playing credits on a card, which lowers or limits the need for, you know, cash to be constantly going in and out of the machines. Keeps track of everybody's credits for redeemable merchandise. It's probably what you would expect. This isn't an example. It's like a gift card. The state has been trying this out for, I would say, over the last year or so, with great results in terms of limiting any incidents involving cash payout or any other sort of non-redeemable merchandise activity. My understanding from Mr. Campbell, he gave me a courtesy call that there was not a gaming incident, but a failure to check ID at the BP, which resulted in a citation. Since that citation was issued, the business purchased a new POS software system that requires the working clerk to actually enter in the ID for every purchase. So the transaction on the POS system can't go through until the ID's been punched in to ensure that it's been checked and that it's, of course, over the age of 21. I don't really have any other updates, nothing further to report. If there's any questions, just as the time before, I'm available, management's available. Other than that, I have no other commentary for this evening.
Yeah, I mean, I know that was a concern of ours. It's just an ongoing problem at that particular store. And then when that was brought to our attention, was it an incident that they just failed to check an ID?
That's my understanding, and that ultimately citation was issued. I mean, I am heavily entrenched in the C-store industry. Typically what happens is law enforcement, you know, will go city to city, town to town, gas station to gas station, to basically do compliance checks, and they failed that one. Like I said, the POS system now has that input ID software. In my experience, that's as top of the line as you can get with respect to alcohol. The card system that I referenced earlier with respect to coin-operated music machine, that's basically I would say the greatest measure that a store can take who's been approved by Georgia Lottery to have a license to keep things as seamless as possible without any incident. So in my estimation, in terms of anything mechanical that can be done at the store, whether it's with respect to gaming or alcohol, that has been implemented. And I know that I forgive me, I'm going to butcher your last name, Torelli. I commented in the last meeting, you know, if a license such as the one at issue is approved and there ends up being incidents down the road, obviously everyone here, the council has the ability to take that away. It's not a right, it's a privilege. Everybody understands that. That's just, you know, something else that I would want to highlight.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are the cards 100% payout, or is there still going to be some cash payouts?
so it's illegal to pay cash. You can only pay in redeemable merchandise. So, you know, whether that's actual, you know, food and beverage or gasoline or retail lotto. I mean, it excludes firearms, tobacco, and alcohol.
Okay, so they could get merchandise instead of the card, or is a card you turn that in for merchandise?
It keeps track of it, and then when you go to the counter, you can use it to see what is the credit, and then the clerk will know what the limit is on the redeemable merchandise.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Any further questions?
And that's my only business with the council. Am I excused?
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Let me ask a question here. This is kind of backtracking a
Sure,
little
no
bit.
problem.
The two incidents, were citations issued?
Well, the incident that Mr. Campbell had brought to my attention, there was a citation issued, but I am assuming, given again, just from my experience in the industry, that the citation would have been issued directly to that clerk. And so I don't know what the final disposition of their case is.
But my question is, there were two incidents and two citations, and they were,
Just one.
There were 2 citations, different locations.
right, that's what I'm getting at.
Yes, so,
One at Sicko, one at the BP.
yeah, this is only for the BP.
This
This
is-
application is only for the BP.
That's for the BP. Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, my
So
mistake.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a hypothetical question.
Yes.
Let's say you're in there gaming, you get a card, you buy a couple loaves of bread or whatever you purchase.
Sure.
You can walk out the store, then turn around and say, oh, I decide I don't want this. Can they give you cash then for returning?
No, so it is 100% violative of Georgia Lottery rules to pay cash.
Okay.
And to be even more specific, even if that cash represents a net loss. So let's say, for instance, a player had $10 on the machine and they were down 8 and there's 2 left. They still can't. It's not like you can't get cash just if you're in the black. You can't get cash ever.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd risk losing your license from the state. Yeah.
Any further questions? Thank you
Appreciate
so
your
much.
time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, before you have the renew summary for the 2025 GMA Health and Life. Above this, you have the 2024, what we paid, are paying this year, and then the new renewal rates. The only other change we had per the budget time was a few years ago, the council had asked for the employee life insurance go from $10,000 to $50,000. We did go ahead during budget time, put in money to make that cost up. So that's an additional cost to this renewal. Will be employees and the council both have a life insurance policy of $50,000. As like everything else, we do have an increase, and that's pretty much standard. They will have the dental, they'll have the vision and the short-term disability. This month we do have open enrollment, so upon that, then we'll have cost estimate of what this year's cost will be for covering the employees.
Anyone have any further questions on the health renewal?
And I can add one thing. We did get the health and wellness grant. So I attended a class on that, and we're going to, Nikki and I are going to administer some classes, some open health issues as far as education. Our policy also does have services that can be rendered at no cost. And this is something that I don't believe the staff knew about before. You can do like an online appointment with the doctor instead of going to the emergency room, or first care, online counseling. There's a lot of services in educating our employees and having these wellness grant and implementing things. I'm hoping that next year this will help us with the cost bringing down. The more that we can do to provide education to our staff, and our staff, basically, you know, you're gonna invest in your own health. And when they do that, that means you're going hopefully to the doctor less, or maybe you didn't get, you weren't used to getting annual physicals, you get something, and then you go there and you have preventive maintenance. This is a big thing to do with health and life. Health insurance is just like your car. You take it in for an oil change, you get the tires rotated. This is how you should think of your own health. When you do have issues, don't put them aside. Take it and use your insurance. And this will allow people to understand, if you're willing to invest in your car, in your home, don't you think the first thing you should be investing in is your own health? And we are giving our employees insurance to do this. And I feel with this whole well-around education system that GMA is providing, this will help our employees be healthier and happier. And when you do that, you do get a great return. Right? So if you have any questions, at the end of next month, I will give an update of the open enrollment. And if you have any questions, just swing by the office.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thanks.
We have citizen input.
Yes, ma'am. The first one is Mr. Joe Piper. I'm sorry? Okay.
Joe Piper. My concern is the amount of spending that's going on in the city. It's nice what's been done in here. Not that it wasn't proposed at another time, but I hear through the grapevine that you all have taken about $1.5 million out of the utility fund. I hope that that's not the case, because we were in past about $900,000 a year, and it should have been $300,000. So we're going the wrong direction if you're taking that much out of the utility fund, and you can't sustain that. We all know that there's a lot of old pipes, a lot of old sewage systems that's in the city, and there was a recent issue right here behind this building that pretty well was on a small scale, but exactly what could happen on a large scale. So the utility fund should be used for the sewer and water lines and normal maintenance on the infrastructure. So I'm just really concerned as a citizen, the amount of money that's being spent, kind of like an alcoholic at the bar. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Dean Coy. I'm sorry, Miss Dean Coy.
I'm Dean Coy. I live at 2287 Glen Jackson Road, Statham, as you all know. Mayor and council, I do not live inside the city limits of Statham, but I am a volunteer on several teams. That means I'm free labor. All funds raised goes back into the community. Not one team I'm on as a volunteer is any paid employee. My understanding, the week of the Sunflower Festival, a meeting with the city manager, the work director, one council member, the Sunflower chairperson, and another member of the Sunflower Committee. And this meeting occurred in the City Hall. During this meeting, the Sunflower chair was advised the police and the porta potties would be handled by the city, but the trash would not. They offered 2 employees from 12 to 6 p.m. at a pay rate of $50 per hour per employee. And the work director would be on call for electrical or water problems or whatever. I would like to refresh your memories with some minutes, and these minutes came from the city website under government. And all of you council members were either in the audience or you were on the council when these minutes occurred, except for Mr. Councilman Burdette. You were not there probably. The first one was August the 4th, 2022, a work session. And I'm not going to read all the minutes. I'm just going to give you the meat of it. Councilman Member Venable asked what the outcome of this event discussion will be. Mayor Piper stated that things can remain as is. Now, as is for the Sunflower meant the police department, porta potties, trash, 1 or 2 employees for the electrical and the water and other problems. Now that was August the 4th. This did not come up on the next regular meeting. The next time it came up was March the 9th, 2023, which was last year, in a work session. And I'm not going to read you all of that one either, but Councilman Venable is fine with the current arrangements of all events with the city and feels the events brings in far more than the overtime cost. Council overall felt that the events will continue as is. That means police, porta potties, and trash for the Sunflower. And thanked her for her 24 years of assisting with the events. Now that was March the 9th. Next one was regular meeting, March 21st, 2023, page 3, the voting items, number 14, the Sunflower. But the main thing is over on page 4. Councilmember Venable made a motion for the city to continue with the same level of service for the Sunflower Festival, Halloween, and the 4th of July. Councilmember Patterson seconded the motion, and the motion passed unanimously. I do not understand what occurred in that meeting in City Hall the first of the week of the festival. The city had worked as a team with the Sunflower for 25 years.
I'm sorry, Ms. Coy, your 5 minutes are up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Betty Lyle.
107 Second Street. I don't have a lot to add to what Miss Dean said. I don't know why nobody wanted to help with the sunflower. When I found out that they wanted to charge us, the city workers wanted $50 an hour, and they chose the hours, I called all council members except Scott. I didn't have his phone number, and nobody knew anything about it. I don't know why that rule was made, and it never was voted on. But despite all the hiccups, we had a great festival. And the good that we got out of it was seeing people's face when we handed them food, made Christmas full of children that wouldn't have gotten anything had we not stepped in. So all y'all done was take all that away. I don't know where the festival is going. I'm not doing it anymore. I am done. And all the 26 years that I did it, I never lost anything until this one. And I lost a lot. And that was respect for all of you sitting up there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Petty. Is there any more? All right. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
I'll second.
And second. All in favor? This meeting is adjourned.